What is going on, everyone? Welcome to week 6 of the UBL. This week we are doing postcom again, not for any other reason other than I want to, but hopefully I can make some fun edits and make an enjoyable experience for you all. But this week we are going up against Grandmaster D Rey, a familiar foe we played last season. Although we were having a much better record last season, we were on a bit of a roll. Here we're on a little bit of a slump, getting some losses, so we're going to try and bounce back. But we're going to see team preview come up right here. And you're going to get to see my face cam and some of my reactions while we do it, which I think will be cool. But not coming is the Rotomo, Gastrodon, Incineroar, Sneasel, and Mienshao, which was pretty surprising. But we do see a Charge Bug, which is hilarious because I was shit-talking Charge Bug when he drafted it at the start of the season. I just honestly didn't think it was that good of a mon. So we'll see how it does here. But what we're bringing a support Mew in case of hazards, and it helps out against webs now, even though that was unintentional. We have a Psychic Thundurus, both in the sense that it has Psychic and the fact that I guess I am a Psychic because I don't have Grass Knot on it, and he didn't bring Gastrodon. We have Eject Pack Lycanroc, which is, again, the greatest item in the game, and no one can tell me otherwise, with CC, of course. And PRIMARINA is Sing Blunder Policy. I've wanted to bring this set for quite a while. I've wanted to make Blunder Policy work on Wi-Fi for quite a while, and I thought it looked pretty good here. And we're bringing the heat. We're bringing Thunderbolt on Cinccino. I am a scaredy cat who almost brought Thunder, but I was afraid of missing, so we brought Thunderbolt instead to deal damage to the Skarmory. Otherwise, it is a pivot, but ideally baiting out the Skarmory seems pretty good. And then we just have a general breaker Abomasnow. I think it looked decent with Ice Shard against Latios and Nidoking. Otherwise, Blizzard looks pretty spammable, and I haven't brought it yet this season, so I wanted to show it off. So here we are. We are going into the game against Grandmaster D Rey. Good luck, have fun to him. It's going to be a lot of fun. This game is really enjoyable, so I hope you all enjoy. And we got a little graphic on top that you're going to see. Let me know what you think of it. But he is going to lead off with the bus. I think the graphic will come up at some point, but you'll see it. You'll see it. You'll see it. Eventually. There it is. Boom. Graphic. But I am just going to Blizzard this thing. I basically say, okay, well, you know what? Let's Blizzard. Let's take this thing down to its sash, and then it'll die to hail. And then I go for Blizzard, and it does literally 4. And I'm like, what the fuck? You can see my face here. And I'm like, why the fuck did that do absolutely nothing? I guess I was underestimating Charge Bug, but he does get up webs, which sucks, but it also makes me very happy that I brought Boots Mew because it allows me to defog on this team very well. Very unintentional, but happened. Very unintentional bring for the webs. It was for like T-Spikes and stuff, but it ends up being just a little bit better here for the web since I have the heavy-duty boots that can defog in front of things like Nidoking and other mons. But I do go for Protect here because I do think that if he stays in, he'll attack me. If he wants to switch out, he'll get a slow Volt switch off, so Protect for the extra hail chip makes a ton of sense. And then at this point, I contemplate whether or not I want to swap to like Thundy, but it seems pretty clear that I just got to Blizzard this thing down. Once this thing is like under 25%, it basically is unable to get webs up again, so if I can get a defog off, then webs will probably become a non-issue. So he does Volt Switch, so I call him on that play. I had a feeling that after protecting, he might assume I go into a Bug Resist, but I decide just to stay in and get my damage. And I really don't know what he's going to go into. My face there is kind of like having no idea what he goes into. It ends up being Nidoking, so he's kind of in this situation where he's forced to like risk the Ice Shard shit, but I also decide that like I can bring in Mew, go for defog and outspeed, and maybe even threaten it out and defog that turn too. So that is the goal here. I don't think there's very much that he can do to OHKO me. He could get T-Spikes up or Rocks, which is why I wanted to go into my defogger right away. But he actually goes for Sludge Wave, and that is a fucking ton of damage. That is modest Life Orb freaking Nidoking if I've ever seen it. So very scary. I just have to defog. If I lose Mew in the process, so be it. But I'm hoping that, you know, I force a switch. That'd be pretty freaking cool. I would like that a lot. So I do force a switch, which is great, even though I don't have a Psychic move, but he doesn't know that, and he goes to Latios, which is pretty funny, because if I did go for the Ice move, that would have done quite a chunk, but we do go for defog, because getting rid of the webs is just so much more important in this situation. So we are going to consider what to bring in here. I don't really have a swap in for this thing at all. I didn't bring Bisharp, not like Bisharp really was a swap in regardless. So I basically decide maybe now's the time to sack off Abomasnow and just get a little bit of Ice Shard chip off on this mon. I feel like I've already gotten significant damage off on Charge Bug that it's a worthwhile trade for me, and getting Ice Shard chip on this is really, really solid because it can do things like put it in range of a Cell Rock or get it in range of a U-turn from Cinccino. So decent option on my end. Ice Shard would do about, 50. So he just goes for the Psyshock. So I'm glad I didn't go into Primarina. That was why I took so long on the turn, kind of just saying, okay, do I go into Primarina and just kind of go for the Blunder policy now? Or do I kind of do it on a free switch? And I'm glad I chose the former instead of the latter. So I go for Ice Shard here, and I imagine that he's just going to take the kill. Like, I just think that, like, he doesn't want to take chip on this, but, like, he doesn't. He swaps out. So I'm like, all right, fair enough. He goes into the Kangaskhan, and I calc this, and it looks like kind of a bulky set. It's a really weird, like, sort of thing. I think I got a max roll on max HP, which is why it didn't look like max HP to me. So I was over here kind of thinking, okay, is it offensive? What is it? And I basically just kind of resigned myself to the idea that if it is offensive, I'll just let it kill me here. But if it's defensive, which I think it would be since Incineroar doesn't come and Kangaskhan does, I would think this is like a Spadef Chandelure answer. I can just go for Brick Break and do as much damage as possible. Hypothetically, Blizzard does more, but if he was AV or some Hyper Spadef set, Brick Break did slightly more. So I just figured, okay, why not? Let's just go for that. But he goes for the Wish, which is just absurdly annoying, and it forces me to Blizzard here because I cannot let him Wish Charjabug back up. Fucking Charjabug is becoming such an issue. But, I have respect for it. That damage turn 1, like, honestly, like, I used to think Charjabug was weak, frail, and terrible, but it's actually pretty good. But he goes for Facade here, and the Abomasnow clutch holds on to get a Blizzard off, and actually, as you'll see here, something that confused both me and D Rey is that Hail went before Wish. But here you can see me kind of panicking because I don't know if he brings in Charjabug here, does he get all the Wish health back? I don't really use Wish that often, so that's just like a mechanic that I'm not 100% clear on. Obviously, in hindsight, this is now the 3rd turn after he's used Wish, so he won't get the Wish back, which I'm relieved to find out. But I do go for the Ice Shard. I was planning on sacking Abomasnow here the whole time, so let's just go for Ice Shard. And you know what? It was snowing in Texas, and it meant I couldn't see Shayquaza or Sir Jorge the Great, but snow in Texas pulled through for me a little bit this time around. So pretty solid, But we do have a Nidoking in front of my face. Thank God, I already know that it's modest. It could hypothetically be Scarf, but I don't think... Oh, wait, no, it can't be because of Life Orb. So that's kind of why I was like, thinking here for a while, but now in hindsight I can clearly say, okay, this thing is not Scarf. I think I was sitting here for a while saying, okay, if it's Scarf, am I fucked? Like, what do I do? But it clearly wasn't Scarf because it just revealed Life Orb based on the Mew damage. So that's a little goof on my part, but now in hindsight I obviously know that it was Life Orb. I even said that I knew it was Life Orb when it hit the Mew, but I guess this turn I just completely forgot about it. But thank God I make the right decision. I say, okay, it's probably not Scarf because he was Webs, and I go into the Thundurus and just threaten with Psychic. He could sack the Charjabug here, which is what I expect to happen. At this point, I expect it to do a KO, but, this thing is already shown to be a beast, so who knows. But yeah, it does look like it do a KO, thank God. I do decide just to Psychic again. I don't think he's going to make some kind of weird switch, so I guess may as well, make him think that I'm Scarf. I have no idea. Might make him go into Latios or something. But I just, why not just Psychic again, you know what I mean? So we're going to do that. Thundurus picks up. Maybe it's, only 2nd kill of the season. It's kind of interesting. The first time I used Thundurus in Draft League, it was my kill leader, and it's been pretty underwhelming for me this season. Maybe it's just because I'm not using it as a breaker as much as I am Lycanroc and Primarina. It's a little bit more supportive for me here. But it's doing its job this game. So he goes into Mimikyu, which scares me a little bit, but doesn't really, because I am EV'd to take a +2 Life Orb Adamant Shadow Sneak. So I can just knock off here, get rid of whatever the hell its item is, and then if he has Ds, I just live and do more damage, and then revenge with Cinccino if he just raw attacks me, which is, you'll see what he decides to do. Now I'm faced with an interesting situation of, do I stay in and just die to this thing? I don't think a player off will kill me, but definitely a player off into a Shadow Sneak will kill me. Or do I, U-turn, sack something, and formulate a game plan from there? And kind of what I'm thinking is the barrier to Primarina winning right now is a sort of sturdy Skarmory with Whirlwind. So I need to figure out how to break that sturdy. So I'm thinking here, okay, if I sack Mew, bring in Lycanroc, click Ironhead, and if he stays in, also I make a really ugly face here, so that's why I'm blocking it out. If I go into Mew here, sack it, go into Lycanroc, do Ironhead just to cover him staying in. If he goes into Skarm, I break the Sturdy, I go for CC to pop the eject pack, and then I get to bring Primarina in and go for this sort of Calm Mind Blunder Policy saying is kind of the game strat that I have in my head here. So he goes for Play Rough, and it doesn't do very much damage, but he will end up picking off the kill here. And you know what? I promised D Rey that I would give him some Mimikyu kills. You could see me kind of messing around thinking, oh, should I go into Cinccino on the Shadow Sneak? But that would be kind of insane. But you know what? We gave him some kills. We gave Mimikyu a kill there, which is great because it's currently the kill leader in the league. So we do go into Lycanroc to execute the game strategy that we had planned before. I could close combat and predict the freaking Skarmory, but I don't think it's worth doing that. I'd rather just like guarantee the Ironhead damage and then click CC and get the eject pack off. So that's the goal. I mean, if he roosts, obviously we're in a weird spot, but I don't know if he would roost here, given that, like, I don't think he assumes I'm staying in. So, like, why roost off 10%? So I do get to close combat here. It's going to take it down to about 55%, and then the eject pack will pop. Why is eject pack the best item in the game? Just because it fucking is, okay? It's amazing. So we are going to get to go into our Primarina as planned. I suppose I could have like gone into Thunderous and pressured that way, but I just really wanted to get this Sing Blunder Policy off. So I'm going to go for Sing. Here I kind of get a little bit worried if I miss and then get the Blunder Policy off. Is it possible that like he Whirlwinds me? I'm not sure. I think if he stays in, he's most likely to go for a Toxic or a Roost or something else. I'm not sure if he'd Whirlwind right off the bat. If he has it, that is. But I ultimately decided just to go for Sing and kind of just risk it because I want to see it go off. But in a perfect world, he doesn't go for Whirlwind, and we can Sing, get the Blunder Policy off, and then just start doing damage with dual stabs, because a Scald is a roll to take a Fizz Def Skarmory out here, but a roll in my favor nonetheless. So I do go for the Sing, and I actually land it, which is good and bad. I mean, if he clicked Whirlwind there, it was amazing for me, but if he didn't, then I would have much preferred to have the speed boost and then just kind of like sweep up from here. But I'm put in this situation where now I have to figure out, okay, I don't have the speed boost. I can't outspeed Nidoking after this Skarmory either dies or swaps out. So do I just take my kill now on Skarmory, or do I try and Calm Mind? Because even if I Calm Mind, Sludge Wave from Nidoking is doing like 90%. So Nidoking into, Latios would kill me. And God, I just want to see this Blunder Policy pop. So I decide that I'm just going to take my kill on Skarmory and go from there. But I still have, this in the back, and I know that this thing is like 100% going to Sludge Wave me. And if I get it wrong, then I can just like go into Thunderous. But I basically say, you know what, Lycanroc's my best sack, and also at this point, like, he probably Sludge Waves me. So I can go into it, make the read, and threaten him out. So that's kind of what I decide to do. It's possible that Lycanroc doesn't even live this hit, given how frail it is, but we'll see. I have like some HP on this. I decided not to go for the speed tie on Latios just because, like, what am I going to hit it with anyway? So he does go for Sludge Wave, and we live on 7. So Lycanroc clutching up Lady Mountay this week, which is pretty cool. And then we're just going to go for Ironhead. It's a free click. As you can see, its last 3 mons are Nidoking, Mimikyu, and Latios. Ironhead did the most damage to Latios and will KO this Nidoking. And Oko's the Mimikyu, so it's definitely the best click here. And we can get some damage off, which is super, super great. As he goes into the Latios, which is pretty unfortunate in the sense that I wanted to get a kill, but now I won't be able to. But it's possible Cell Rock kills. I don't know. I'm just kind of looking at this, and I'm like, I wonder, like, if I was Sucker Punch, would things be much better here? I have no idea. But a Cell Rock just was so much better. Incineroar offensively looked really good against my team, so I wanted to make sure that if he was a Flame Charge set, I had a Cell Rock to revenge it. So he goes for Psyshock here, takes out my Lycanroc. If he recovered there, that could have been a little awkward, but we are just going to sack the Lycanroc here, and this is getting close. It's getting down to the wire. But, the positive is I have 2 mons in Cinccino and Thunderous that outspeed his entire team. and if PRIMARINA gets the blunder policy off, then I have 3. So I decide I think I can win this endgame with purely Cinccino and Thunderous. So like, let's just go for the PRIMARINA just to show it off, and maybe it'll win. But I wanted to do it, and I wanted to be a little bit more laid back this game. So I said, you know what, I want to see this pop off, even if my optimal play is to go into, say, Cinccino and click U-turn. I just want to see this pop off. I just really do. So we are going to sing and we are going to miss, which is super awesome because that's going to allow us to show off the blunder policy. And we get to secure a kill here by clicking Scald. Something's going to die. Mimikyu doesn't live too. So in a perfect world, I would be in Torrent right now and Oko everything. But he gets a roll, or maybe it just, the damage just slightly isn't enough. I'm like a few hit points out of Torrent, which is a little sad. But if I was frickin' Surf or something, maybe I could have done a little bit more. I don't think Surf would have made a difference. Maybe Hydro Pump would have made a difference, but then that's risky. So I don't know. Honestly, Moonblast probably is just as free as a click that turn. But he goes into Mimikyu. I say, you know what? Let's go for Moonblast here just to get maximal damage off. I could go for Scald and try and secure a burn, but I'm pretty sure a play off into a Shadow Sneak, even if he's burned, will kill me anyway. So I would much rather Moonblast just to get the damage off and put myself in a situation where I can basically win the game with Thunderous in the end here. So I go for Moonblast. PRIMARINA is going to pass the fuck out. And here I'm looking at it, I'm saying, okay, I can win this game if I just T-Bolt into Psychic. But I have Thunderbolt on Cinccino, and I really want to show it off. So you can see there, I am like a little bit excited to do that, and I'm like, okay, is this enough? Is this range? I hope it is. So I just go for T-Bolt. We've got to show it off. Like, if we're bringing the heat, we have to show off the heat. Otherwise, there's no point. So we do get to show off the Thunderbolt Cinccino, which is super cool, and we KO the Mimikyu, which I'm super, super pumped about. I get super excited about that shit. So that makes me really happy. But I realized that maybe, like, in, like, a terrifying world, I've given myself, like, a loss condition, I guess is what you call it. If I miss, like, Tail Slap 2 times in a row here and he, like, subs, then I'm screwed. But, like, I think I was fine. I panicked there for a minute because I guess you can't tell with the speed up, but in the game itself, the time it took for it to say use Tail Slap and then to actually go off took quite a while. But we do get a 2-0 win against the Los Angeles Guerrilla Tactics, which is super great. It puts us up to 3-3 plus 3 and puts us around the middle of the division, middle high, I would say, because of our differential. And I'm going to do a Pokemon of the week here. That's going to be PRIMARINA. And I think PRIMARINA did really well this week with taking 2 kills on the Skarmory and the Latios, breaking the Mimikyu, so it would be in range of Cinccino's T-Bolt, and really just threatening things out, generally speaking. I mean, even that turn with the Abomasnow there at the start, like if PRIMARINA wasn't there, he would have Draco'd and killed my Abomasnow, but because PRIMARINA as a threat was in the back, he went for Psyshock, which allowed Abomasnow to click Ice Shard, threaten Latios out, and then get King there. But yep, that is the end of the Week 6. Next week we go up against Matt O'Shea, coach of the Montreal Milotics, a opponent that I've wanted to go up against for quite some time because I think we're both some pretty good battlers, and I think that we think about the game in different ways that would make a battle like this really exciting. Plus he's pretty high in the standings, so we'll see how it goes, but I'm really excited for it. Hopefully we can step out of this loss-win streak because it's starting to get really obnoxious, and if it keeps going, then we're going to go 4-5, which is not ideal, but the goal is 5-4. Again, this team is like so experimental that like either we're going to win some games just because we're going crazy offense gimmicky like this, or we're going to lose them on matchup like we did kind of against Irish Emerald, even though there were so many ways that I could have pulled that game back. But there's going to be a lot of bad matchups. There's going to be a lot of funky things that we're going to get to do because of that. But I like challenging myself, and this team has definitely forced me to challenge myself in ways that I don't think I've been forced to before. But yep, that is the end of the game. I will see you all next week in Week 7 against Matt O'Shea. Stay tuned for that, and I'll see you all later.